Hello and welcome to a woodland location here in the northeast of Scotland. Now, woodland photography is something that's quite foreign on my channel. I don't do it very often, but it's something that I'd like to get into a little bit more, especially in spring and autumn months. And right now we're in this optimum season where we've got these blankets of beautiful snowdrops all over the ground here in this woodland. So I'm here today basically to try and capture these and see if I can get any interesting images. Now, this is actually location 2 of the day. This morning I was at another woodland trying to find some interesting mosses and lichens and also to photograph some very interesting trees. So before we get cracking onto the snowdrop photography, I'm going to very quickly show you some of the images that I took at location number 1 this morning, and then we're going to try and photograph these guys and utilise the beautiful weather conditions that we've got here today. So this second location that we've come to this morning is just incredible, and it's inspiring me to the point that I've decided to vlog about it as opposed to the other location that I was at this morning. But what's so good about this location is the amount of mosses and lichens that are growing on all these old trees around here. And there is such diversity, from beautiful trees that are still growing to a lot of dead wood and that's lying around and covered in this. And the weather forecast today is perfect for this type of photography because today we've got a lot of sunshine and showers. So we're getting these showers coming through that's causing all this mosses and lichens to get wet, as well as all the snowdrops and that on the ground. And then when the sun then comes powering through the clouds after these bursts of rain, it's really illuminating it and it's causing a lot of contrast and saturation in this landscape. This location in many ways is just, like I say, so inspiring, and it's a great place to come to get creative. So if you have any woodlands around you that's quite similar to this and that you've got beautiful colours, contrast and just lovely saturations, get out and embrace it, especially on a day like today where we've got those bursts of rain coming through and that intense sunshine bursting through the clouds afterwards. It makes for the sort of the perfect light and perfect conditions for getting into a sort of humid woodland like this and really embracing the day and the beautiful spring colours and flowers that we've got going on here today as well. Well, this is just beautiful, isn't it? I was hoping actually to do pretty much all my photographs here handheld, but now that we're getting to mid-morning and the sunlight's getting quite harsh and there's quite a lot of conflicting exposures sort of going on here, I'm going to go and get my filters and my tripod so that I can frame some interesting shots, put a polarizer on to get rid of some of that glare, and also probably a neutral density filter to try and get the exposure of the higher up trees similar to that of the low down ground. So as you can see though, this is incredible. We are completely surrounded by snowdrops right now, and this is a type of photography that I've never done before. I've never photographed flowers in the woodland, but it's something I've always wanted to do. Every year when I see the bluebell photography coming out around May time, it's something I've always wanted to do. But sadly in this part of Scotland there's not very many places that have woodland that are covered in bluebells, but we do have a lot of snowdrops, so I'm just wanting to try and make the most of this while they're here before they disappear, and really utilise this because this is just beautiful, and it's one of these spectacles that you only get at one time of the year. And when you're doing landscape photography of any kind, you really have to utilise and make the most of times of the year like this, when there's things in the landscape growing or appearing that aren't there any other time of the year, because that's when you get the unique images, and that's when you can really embrace nature and the outdoors and go home with something that little bit different. That was certainly a very interesting morning, and I think what was quite clear by that video was how much I was enjoying being out in the woodland and doing a type of photography that was quite new to me in many ways. I've always stressed in the past that woodland photography is something that I really struggle with, but it's also a sort of style of landscape photography that interests me massively. Now I know that I'm not a good woodland photographer, I never have been. That doesn't mean I never will be, I can keep trying, keep persevering, but I know I'm not the best at woodland photos. The only photographs I took that morning that I really liked was the two at the start of the video of me interacting with those beautiful, really tall trees that were towering above me and showing that human interaction with nature. As for the more landscape style images I took in the woodland that morning, I didn't really like them. I found them messy. I found it really difficult to compose images and pick things out within the woodland. And there was so much going on, it was hard to know what to focus on and what to concentrate on to get interesting compositions. But it's a style of photography that I want to adapt and I want to evolve and I want to learn more about. But I wanted to end this video basically by saying to you that not every style of photography will come naturally to people. There'll be styles of photography that suit you more than others. For me, woodland is very tricky, but I still enjoy doing it, and that is all that matters, because photography at the end of the day should be enjoyable. And if you go home with beautiful images or manage to capture landscapes that you've always dreamt of capturing, then that is a bonus. But enjoying the experience of being outdoors in nature is what it's all about. And I think in times like this, when the majority of us are stuck indoors, really struggling with the lack of fresh air and being able to wander freely through our country, it makes you realise that just being out there, appreciating being out there, appreciating being in nature is really important, and the images are just a bonus. So I wanted to show you that video today to try and give you some encouragement, to show you that when this is over, just getting out into nature and enjoying it for what it is enough to bring you happiness. If you get an image on top of that, fantastic. And during these hard times, we have to try and take photographs or adapt to things in new ways, take images of things that we've never thought about photographing before. But I'm sure that if we all get into our gardens, photograph around our homes, we will learn something through this period, something that we can take forward into our photography journeys when we're allowed to get out and about again. So make the most of this time, learn new skills. think about what styles of photography you want to concentrate on in the future and start to learn a little bit more about it. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching. I hope you're all well, I hope you're all safe. Try and keep your spirits up in these worrying times because it will end eventually. I'll see you all again next time.